It's snow time, folks. Welcome in. Chasing Big Joe, 1025, 1063, the game here on this Friday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. Hope you're safe out there. And maybe you did like me and you don't like driving in the snow. And so you stayed home with your dog who will not leave you alone this morning. But anyway, it's all good. How you doing, JoJo?
What is the let the folks know what your dog's name is?
Sawyer. He's a Great Pyrenees, and he's a pain in the ass sometimes. So
But don't they love the
you know,
snow? I thought they loved the snow.
they do. He's just I don't know. He's glad I'm here, and so he will not leave my side. So
Well, that's good then, man. You like that.
yeah,
He
no,
feels
it's good,
safe because of you.
I guess, or he wants me to feel safe, something like that.
Yeah, I'll take it.
How was the? I feel like when you came in, like this is when the snow was just kind of starting. How was it?
Yeah, hit the airport I got here about 7:30, hit the airport about then, but I'm telling you, shout out to Metro Public Works, I think they call it NDOT or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I have seen trucks constantly up and down Murfreesboro Road. I passed several on Donaldson Pike. So shout out to the men and women of our Metro Public Works who are out in this all day long. And Murfreesboro Road, we look out our window it's snowing pretty hard, but it's passable. The road's passable thanks to the hard work for all them. So it'll get worse throughout the day, but I'm telling you, it's beautiful outside.
it is. And what's funny is I was, I've watched all the TV coverage and Nashville Severe Weather on Twitter, which if you don't follow them, they're a tremendous follow. And all of them have basically said the same thing. Be careful. The roads are going to get dangerous, but this is going to be a fun snow. It's a wet snow, good snowball snow. You can build a snowman. In fact, I got word that Amy Adams Strunk built a snowman and then changed her mind on it, and tore it down, and built a new one. So that's what I was told this morning. No, that didn't work.
Or she had somebody come and tell it, look, it's not working out here.
Yeah, probably.
You need to go away. See,
probably.
No, it's
tell you right now, we don't care. we don't care.
She tried to do a sit down with Mike Keith and then found out he left.
Is Mike around? Where's Mike? Is Mike around? I'm telling you, and Robbie hit on this earlier during their show, is that I have seen more upset's a strong word, but just like, man, oh man, people that Mike Keith is leaving. I'm telling you, it's equaled the feelings about Derrick Henry. And you think I'm kidding? Yeah. You go to social media and see people aren't happy with this. And good for Mike, he made the move, but they are upset. I mean, it's equal for Derrick Henry going to Baltimore that Mike Keith has left, because that was your guy. That was our guy for so long. And, we wish him best of luck and everything, but people aren't happy about this.
Yeah, and I do want to say this, like, for the narrative out there that, oh, Mike's jumping ship, he's getting off a sinking ship. This was in the works long before any of this. It's a dream job for him. I know in reading and both the Titans and the Vols have done a tremendous job covering this. Some of the videos that have been put out there are like, with the Vols put one out with him, and you got John Ward calls and Lindsey Nelson, and it's awesome. And there's a scene where he walks from the Tennessee press box into the Titans press box and then back. To leave one dream job for another, but I don't think it would. I mean, we can make jokes because they're right there and it's easy. Mike wasn't jumping ship.
No,
this was an opportunity that he just could not pass up.
And I bet, and I have no knowledge of anything on this, but I bet it was in the works. Like, hey, the day after the Music City Miracle, regardless what happens, is the day I'm going to announce this. Don't take away from how beautiful the Music City Miracle was, but at the same time, how often you get to chase your dream job. I mean, what fun is that? Awesome. Knoxville, college football on Saturdays. It's just good for him, man. But a lot of people think that he left because of what's going on over the Titans. And you're right. That's not the case. But people are not happy. And good for you. I mean, if you're upset, that means he meant a lot to you throughout the year. So,
yeah,
I get it. I totally get it.
Look, and I'm like, depressed is the wrong word, but like I'm sad because that was one thing, and I kind of said this yesterday. Even though that's another station and all of that, like I listen to Mike, and Mike is truly the voice of the Titans, and I thought Jim Wyatt really said it best. It's not that he was the play-by-play voice of the team. He truly was the voice of the Titans. Like when something needed to get out from the Titans, typically it was Mike Keith. And while I didn't all agree with Amy Adams Strunk when she would talk, just doing a sit down with him because that was safe and that was state run television, he did a very, very good job with it. And so that's the hard part. He's now, whoever that next person is, has the unthinkable job of having to follow what he did for 27 years. And I know that they will find the right person, but that's a tough act to follow.
It is. But you look at Mike, and we wish him well. And it's just, I mean, it's the opportunity of a lifetime to go and do that. So good for him. But if you're upset, that's fine. And I talked to a lot of people this morning at the gym, talked to a few people who are like, man, do you think he jumped? I'm like, no. No, that's a dream. Then like, oh, I didn't know he went to Tennessee. I didn't know that he started up there. Then once they realize all that, it's like, okay. I get it now, but good for him. But now, and it's funny, is like, we always joke, don't be Ray Perkins in life. For those that don't know that joke, Ray Perkins replaced Bear Bryant. And like, you don't replace a legend. You just let somebody else go and kind of get that, be the sacrificial lamb. Then you go and do that. So Mike is a legend. So whoever replaces him is going to be compared to him in so many ways. But you go in with your own identity and your own plan, the way you do things, you'll be fine.
Yep. Don't go in and be Mike Keith. Go be, whoever you are.
There's people that are going to, like, 3% of the world is against oxygen. So no matter what you do, you go over there, people who can complain anyway, but, that guy, or if they hire a woman, whatever. Oh, that person, blah, 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 blah. So it'll be fun to watch, see who they pick.
Yeah. And look, there's people that like to tweet at us and text us that are against oxygen, so that's okay.
Right.
Speaking of, 615-737-1025, that's our phone and text line, driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. We were treated to a pretty darn good football game last night, JoJo.
It was excellent. And I'm sorry, Penn State fans, but knowing our disdain for James Franklin, I'm glad they lost.
And you know what? So here's the interesting thing. I'm not a Notre Dame fan. I never have been. I don't necessarily dislike Notre Dame, but I don't actively, cheer for them. I do like Marcus Freeman. Like they got somebody, and I think for so long they had Brian Kelly, and nobody likes Brian Kelly, so that was a part of the problem. And now with Freeman in there as the coach, how could you not just cheer for that guy?
Oh, and then, the question after the game, and she was like, what does this mean for black coaches? And he's like, what does it mean for all coaches who get a chance? Not just black, white, brown. Everybody's like, the opportunity to teach young men, the opportunity to have this job. I got cold chills. I was like, I'll run through a wall for that dude. The video is out there when Brian Kelly left Notre Dame and the AD came and spoke to the team and said, hey, we've already hired a coach. And nobody knew that it was Marcus Freeman. And they said, here's your new head coach, Marcus Freeman, who'd been on the staff. And he walks into this room and the players just go crazy for him. That's a coach that means the world to you. And I bet he's a hard ass on him, which is great because you love that. I mean, you want a coach to be up your butt every single day, do this, do that, be a better person. You love that. And they love this guy. And so his thing after the game last night, I'm 100% on board with you. That guy is a good man and a great coach.
Well, and what's interesting, a lot of the college football experts, so to speak, didn't think that he was going to make it, as the coach. Because, again, you go back to being the one to follow the one. And Brian Kelly had success at Notre Dame for sure. And so it was like, with the timing of everything, oh, yeah, this is a good hire. He's been a good soldier. But, they'll probably go get an actual coach the next year. He's done a great job. And now he's got his team in the national championship game, which Brian Kelly got him to the playoff, but I don't think he ever got him to a championship, or did he? I don't remember.
He got him. They got crushed by Bama the 2012 season. They made it to the national championship game there with Manti Te'o.
Okay,
but
yeah,
that
yeah.
was it.
Yeah, that's right.
That was the last one.
Uh,
or the only
yeah.
one.
So, yeah, look. So
Well, no, he made it with when Clark Lee left. What was that? 20?
That's right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
That's right. Because Clark Lee was the defensive coordinator.
Yep.
That's right. I knew there had to be something in there, but anyway, that's going to be awesome. And then we're going to have another great game tonight in the other semifinal game with Texas and Ohio State.
It'll be great. I go back to when before they played Tennessee and they interviewed Ohio State player. I don't remember who it was, said, everybody is calling for our coach's head. We love our head coach. We're going to play for him. And I'm thinking in the back of my mind, man, very rarely do you hear a guy say that before a game. So this Ohio State team was just pissed off because they all called for him after they lost to Michigan, and I get that. But they went out and just pounded Tennessee, pounded Oregon. This team's like Notre Dame does for Marcus Freeman. This football team is playing for their head coach. And if you go win a national championship, you can beat your chest and look at this. You all talked that. We knew he was a great coach. What are you going to do now? If I'm Ryan Day, it would be great if he just leaves after he gets a job, wins a national championship. Like, see ya.
Deuces, going to the NFL. Hey, it could happen. He could be like, hey, I'm going to go join Vrabes wherever he is to be the OC.
Braves,
and just worry about coaching.
Yeah, that's
615-737-1025. JoJo, it's a snow day. I want to hear from the people.
Yes.
That are out and about.
Yeah, so we did this last year.
Of the day.
Yeah, we did this last year. We want to know where the best sledding is in Middle Tennessee. I'm getting out this afternoon with my son. We got a spot in Donaldson that we love. But seriously, let everybody know where the best and probably the safest sledding. You don't want to sled down into I-40, where the best sledding is anywhere in Middle Tennessee. So just let us know, 615-737-1025, 615-737-1025. This is your show. Let us know the best sledding places in Middle Tennessee.
Yeah, let us know. And also, if you are out and about, give us a report on the roads. We'd love to know how things are. The snow really started to enter the Nashville area in the 7 o'clock hour, so it's been piling up since then. Would love to know how the roads are, and we'll keep you up to date on all of that throughout the show. Michelle Kennedy will join us at 9:30. Chris Sanders at 10. Of course, we'll continue to discuss what's going on with the Titans. This is Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game here on this Friday, this snowy Friday. We want to know the best sledding spots in Middle Tennessee. 615-737-1025. He's Big Joe. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier, along for the ride as well. Do you have one, Joe?
Yeah, there's one off. There's a McGavick Elementary. There's a big hill on the backside of McGavick Elementary which zips you down the Grayland Drive. If you get lucky, you can get catapulted over the road and like into the next yard. So you got to make sure the road's clear. You have to have a scout that stops cars you take down, but it's so much fun, man. And it's on the side of a hill, and it's just so cool. That's our favorite spot.
See, I like, a lot of the television stations have done live shots, and you've seen Capitol Hill. I mean, Capitol Hill is a great one, if you're in that area.
Yep.
And it'll be packed later today.
Oh yeah, I mean, there was one we grew up going down the dam at Percy Priest Dam, going down the long road that gets you to the dam was great, but after 9/11, they blocked that road off, so you can't sled down and do all that stuff. And it was on the side of the hill. It was so much fun. It's all about speed, man.
It is. Okay, so speaking of sledding and live shots TV people, I'm going to call out one of our TV friends, Madeline Nolan with Fox 17. She needs to get on a sled in one of her live shots. I feel like that's something you would have done, like when you were doing TV.
Oh, yeah.
I need that to happen.
It's a lot of fun. But you got to go I had a football helmet I'd put on and put the mic underneath there and then have the earpiece that would come out the back. So you would just fly. We would find the hill. The Capitol Hill is a good one. There's some hills out in, not Oak Hill, but off of Green Hills back in there that are really good, that really don't get any sunlight, that are a lot of fun. But you'll find one. I mean, there's another one in Donaldson, and I forget another one off McGavick Pike by McGavick that goes straight down and it curves. It's a long way, and those are fun, man. So those are like TV ones. You'd find that and go and just take off and just raise Cain as you're going down.
Well, the ones at both my house and then my mom's house, which is my grandparents' old house, there's some hills over in this area. So, I have a feeling I might, Sawyer and I might have some fun later.
Yeah, just go do it. I mean, look, it's tiring. It's a workout. You'll be in pain the next day, but my goodness, I mean, this is the perfect snowing weather. We look outside now, it's starting to pile up a little bit. It's perfect. It's perfect for snowing. And so get out today and have fun.
So you'll be in pain the next day. That's good.
Titans
fans are used to that.
Yeah, we're used to all that stuff that goes on. I did hear Robbie and Rexo at the end of the show talking about, I guess someone's got the candidate list that they're looking at now for GM.
Oh, really?
Like, is it Reggie or Raleigh McKenzie? One of the McKenzie brothers.
Reggie McKenzie. Yeah, Reggie McKenzie. Yeah, I've seen, Thomas Dimitrov is supposed to, and, they're usually good about, Robbie will send an email out of they've completed an interview with so-and-so or whatever. But I guess they release the Albert Breer put it out there.
Albert Breer.
Reggie McKenzie, Thomas Dimitrov, and John Spytek, who's the assistant in Tampa, Ed Dobbs from Indy, Matt Berry from Seattle, Terrence Gray from Buffalo, Catherine Hickman from Cleveland, and then Sunday, Mike Borgonzi from Kansas City and Ian Cunningham from Chicago. So those will be the list. And what's interesting is Chad Brinker, in conversations, he hasn't done a press conference or anything like that, but I know he's talked to Teron Davenport or Paul Kuharsky or Gentry Estes, others, and he's, been consistent on the message of this is a real GM job. That's what he's selling, of course. I think we all know that's not true, because he's going to have final say, but he's trying to put out there that whoever comes in here and takes this job is going to help mold this roster and have decision-making abilities. While I do think there's some truth to that, I still go back to if it goes wrong, then he can go, that wasn't my call. Right? That was Joe's call.
Yeah, I didn't do any of that. That was him getting that job. Then I don't know. I mean, how do you look? the GM usually has the final say, right? For the most part, in
Yeah.
player personnel. I mean, they let
Right.
the owner know, and the owner should be smart and say, all right, thank you for letting me know. Go do your job. But if he's got the final sell, then that's not a GM job. I liken it to, and follow me how this is crazy. Brian Callahan with the Bengals coming here. Never called a play, but I made suggestions. Right. Is that the same thing of the GM that's going to come here? I can pick this guy. I like this guy, but ultimately, they had the GM Brinker gets to make the call here. I just think it's a lateral job for a lot of people. And if you come here and if you're really making your way up and you're at the Bucs or Browns or whoever you are, and these people they've talked about, then you come here and it's a disaster because Chad Brinker overruled you, then your career is set back 5-7 years. Don't take this job. Don't. The only people taking this job are those desperate enough who want to get back in football, and that's where McKenzie falls in.
Okay, well, let me add our Thomas Dimitroff. Let me ask you this. So let's say I've used Thomas Dimitroff as an example because I like him a lot. He obviously worked with Floyd, so there's that connection. Let's say you're him and you're wanting to get back in. You've been doing some consulting and other things, but you haven't been in a couple of years since you got let go in Atlanta. You look at the situation here. It's not great on the outside, but knowing what you know about her and how she operates, could you hypothetically really push to take this job knowing that you could put yourself in a position in a year or two that you're the guy? Because that's basically what Chad Brinker did.
Right, but now Chad Brinker is the guy. So
right,
he knows what you're going to walk into.
Who's to say that, she doesn't change her mind in a year like she has with Robinson and with Vrabel and with Carthon? And, in a year, you're the flavor of the week, just as Jared likes to put it. I mean, I do wonder if people are looking at that way.
Well, you look at it, you got rid of Robinson, got rid of Rand. This guy comes in, leaks stories about how lazy you are. Do you want to work for that?
No,
I mean, that story had to be leaked from Chad Brinker. No, who else is going to leak that? Get it out there, right? That's the thing.
Look, you don't want to work for that, but it's a dog eat dog world, and some of the people that are going to be interviewing for this job are like, okay, if that's the game we're going to play, I can play that too.
Right. But again, if you're the assistant pro personnel person for the Dolphins or whoever, yeah, you'll take that job because that's a step up. But if you got that same position where you're advising a GM and you're throwing your name into a ring and a guy's picking for, that's a lateral move. But if you're miserable where you are, wherever it is, Cleveland, San Diego, Houston, whatever, you'll take the job. It's like, maybe the grass is a little bit greener over there. And you come to find out that most times it's usually not. But I don't want to go to a position where somebody's ratting on me left and right and there's little minions doing that. I mean, it's a terrible franchise, a terrible front office, and they did it to all these wounds are self-inflicted. All these wounds over there are self-inflicted for the Tennessee Titans. I would not work for any of that.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't disagree with you, and it's a sad state of affairs to see that because I thought about it last night. I hate coming on here every day and bashing them. Like, I really do. I want them to be good. I want to come on the air and say, man, the Titans really got it going, like we do with the Preds. Like, it wouldn't be just because we're the flagship of the Preds is not why we say all that and praise them. It's because it's true. And I want to be able to say that about the Titans, but it is just not fun right now. For sure.
And we got to, deal with this for a while and see what happens. But you think they'll have people in place by the Senior Bowl 3 weeks?
Oh, I wouldn't be shocked if there's a GM in place by next week. They usually move pretty quickly on these things. So I think by next Friday there should be something in place. If I had to guess.
Okay. All right.
That might be a little too soon, but at least by the following week, they'd probably have this done. Because you're right, because you got the Senior Bowl, and Rand got kind of beat up for not going to the Senior Bowl and all those things. So
maybe he was told not to go to the Senior Bowl.
I don't know what to believe anymore.
I'd
Like,
love
I really
for him
don't.
to God, I'd love for him to talk. I would love for him to talk because he's the one guy, Chase, that could absolutely destroy the Titans franchise.
So here's the thing. Like Robinson hasn't talked, and that's the smart move
Yep.
to
Oh, yeah.
not talk. Carthon, I mean, look, I think he'll get. He's not getting another GM job. Like I think Robinson has a better chance at getting another GM job than Rand Carthon does. So I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at some point if there was something with him. But
Well, with John Robinson, it did not come out. It was not a character issue, right? We
No.
still don't know officially. We know what happened, but officially,
he
now
pissed the owner off. That's
now
what
with
happened.
Rand, they're taking shots at your character. So I ain't shutting up. You've already given me my
Yeah.
money. Now, if you're somebody in other organizations, like, well, why did you speak up? And like, they attacked my character. I'm defending my character. And I'd be like, hell yeah, way to stand up for yourself. So I don't mind this. So whoever gets this interview with Rand, and somebody will, because Rand needs to talk he needs to tell his side. Because right now, all we're hearing is that he's lazy and he sleeps all the time. Right? He's like your dog. He's like
Yeah,
your dog. That's all he is.
Basically.
Yep.
Coming up next, we will talk about a good organization here in town, the Nashville Predators. Michelle Kennedy, the president, will join us on the other side. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. Predators back in action in Smashville tomorrow night. Finally back home after such a long road trip. I know that we have missed them for sure, and it'll be a nice home stand with a lot of cool things going on. To talk more about that, we bring in Madam President Michelle Kennedy, who is on the line with us. Michelle, have you thrown a couple of snowballs at Sean Henry yet?
Not yet. I'm planning that for later in the day. It is hockey weather outside. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's really, really fun for sure. And it'll be great because the team's back home tomorrow night against the Washington Capitals for a 5-game homestand. Should be really, really cool. But I know you're excited. I'm excited about Wednesday and Thursday, the first ever Preds Golden Hall class, which will be, of course, David Poile, Pekka Rinne, and Shea Weber. They will get their rightful place in the Golden Hall in Smashville. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is. And, if you talk about no-brainers, that's the biggest no-brainer of our organization's history. I mean, how do you not include those 3 people as your first inductees in the Golden Hall? So, we'd love for everyone to come out and join us at one or both of the events that are going to commemorate this occasion. The first will be a luncheon on the 15th, Wednesday the 15th at the Renaissance. And that'll be a great opportunity to see a bit of the more personal side of those guys. They'll be telling stories. You'll be able to meet them. And they're all fantastic human beings, and they're really funny when they're together. So go to our website, grab some tickets to that luncheon. And then the ceremony on the 16th, in game will be really special as well. I think one of the cool features of when we're doing it is that the game is against the Blackhawks. And if you think about our history, there's probably no team that comes to mind more than the Blackhawks. So that we're doing our first ever Golden Hall induction against the Blackhawks with David Poile, Shea Weber, and Pekka Rinne. It just all seems like the right combination.
Yeah, no doubt. And what's really cool that stood out to me is, and you go to NashvillePredators.com/Golden Hall Lunch to get those individual tickets. All the proceeds benefit the 365 Pediatric Cancer Fund, which was founded by Pekka Rinne and Shea Weber. And, it's been a while since they've both been together for one of these events supporting the 365 Fund. That's what's really cool to me.
Yeah, it's really fun. We actually did a cute thing when we talked to Shea and Pekka separately and told each of them that we wanted them to let the other know that they were being inducted into the hall. And they didn't know they were being inducted. And it was there was some cute footage. I bet we probably will show it. If not, it'll probably be on our website. But it was a really fun thing for them to be surprised by the other in that context. And you're right, the 365 Fund has been such a part of our history as well. And kudos to those guys. They stepped up and started it. The 365 is the combination of their jersey numbers, and it's also a combination, or it's also representative of the number of days that we're engaged in this with Vanderbilt, which is every day of the year. So I think you'll see some special people from the past that they've interacted with in the context of these 2 events, from both the Pediatric Cancer Fund as well as some of the other charitable initiatives they've been involved in, and certainly former teammates and things like that. But it'll be a really, really special day, not only to just celebrate them as hockey players, but as really great people.
Amen to that. They are just true, just great people. That foundation is so great. It helps so many people with all that. We talked to Michelle Kennedy. Michelle, did you bowl last night?
I didn't, but it's much more fun to be a spectator in that. I was talking to someone just a moment ago on a meeting, and the results of last night are being contested because Sean Henry suggests that his team won the internal grudge match that goes on. There are 4 or 5 people within our organization who get teams, and so if the person who finishes last in the race has to do something silly, like last year Bill Wickett had to wear a blow-up bowling pin costume around the office for a day. So Sean is suggesting that he won, but the other teams are alleging that he paid the scorekeeper to make that happen. So huge controversy from last night's bowling event.
we have ideas of what Bill Wickett could dress up like. So just ask us, Michelle. If you
Oh,
need
yeah,
any-
we can help with
submit
that.
them. Submit them. I'm asking. You submit anything in the world. We would love it.
we will do that.
It's a great sport.
Speaking of events that you guys do are so great, and I think it's one of the best events every year. It's on February 4th. It's Nash Vegas. I mean, it's so well done. It's so much fun. And you could look to your right and you're playing blackjack with UC Saros, or there's Forsberg next to you. Just so much fun with that. And I know you guys are excited for that each and every year.
Yeah, it is. You know, the arena floor turns into MGM Hotel, and it looks like a casino, and it is really cool. The guys love it. They sit at, like you said, you could be sitting in one seat, and Steven Stamkos is sitting next to you playing blackjack, or Ryan O'Reilly is playing
Something.
crack. You know, I mean, just yeah. But it's really fun. It's something we look forward to every year. People love it. It is a mainstay in our lineup for foundation events. And yeah, February 4th, it's coming up. Come join us. It's a great night.
Yeah, and tickets available on the website. I want to ask this: when the team goes on a road trip like they just got off of, which seems like they were gone for 4 months, what's that like around the office, around Bridgestone, when you know they're going to be out for so long, and it's just you love having them in town. But you've been through this, Michelle, you know that. But I just think it's kind of like, I miss these guys around here.
Yeah, it is. It is unusual. Now we're always busy. We usually have a number of concerts and different events when they're not there. But it is, because we all have to stay up late to watch them play, because a lot of times they're on the West Coast and games don't start till 9. So we're a little sleepy and lonely in the days when they're gone. So this 5-game homestand is going to be awesome. It's great to have them back. In the middle of the 5-game homestand on the 18th, it's going to be our second Music City Bobblehead Series night. And our first was Tim McGraw, hugely popular. It was a great night. We won, so that was awesome. So hopefully the Keith Urban Bobblehead is going to bring us just as much luck. But on the 18th, in addition to coming and seeing some great Smashville hockey, you're going to leave with a Keith Urban bobblehead if you're among the first 10,000 fans to show up. So just another reason to come out and watch our guys during this 5-game homestand.
Well, we can't wait. It's going to be fun and very, very nice to see the guys back in Smashville. Michelle, appreciate the time as always, and throw a couple of snowballs at Sean for us.
I'll get him. Don't you worry. You guys have a great day. Thanks for having me. Enjoy the snow.
Absolutely. Michelle Kennedy, the president of the Nashville Predators, joining us here on the program. And again, the Preds back in action tomorrow night at Bridgestone Arena against the Washington Capitals. There's a name that seems to be circulating on Twitter that might have the edge, according to some people, for the GM job for the Tennessee Titans. We will discuss that. I'll tell you who it is coming up next. Chasing Big Joe, presented by the Omni Nashville Hotel, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
would be stunned. I would be stunned if it is a person that Chad Brinker does not have a prior relationship with. And that's really interesting because I can tell you this, all those years of Brinker's varied experience, all those different things he did, working for Russ Ball in the Packers organization, being on the analytics side, he knows a lot of people in the NFL. Like there's, I know people, like I've heard, Mike Borgonzi with the Kansas City Chiefs, which by the way is an interesting name. Years ago, I went into the Chiefs organization when John Dorsey was the GM. And it was always when you walked in there, like even Andy Reid, and then it was Brett Veach and Mike Borgonzi. And it was like, all these guys are going to be GMs.
That was Charles Robinson yesterday on Robbie and Rex Road from Yahoo Sports. He joins them every Thursday at 8 o'clock. You definitely want to hear what he has to say. Jason Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, The Game on this snowy Friday, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios, home of the $99 yearly Beehive membership, where the buzz is always about great service. And during that interview, and Tehran was on with them this morning, they talked about a bunch of different candidates for the GM job. One that I have seen mentioned a lot by both local and national media is Reggie McKenzie, who is the former general manager of the Oakland Raiders, played football at the University of Tennessee. He's from Knoxville. He's been around football for a long time. It seems that, according to some, he has a pretty good shot of getting the job and does have connections to Chad Brinker.
It's all who you know, man. I laughed when you said local media. Anyway, that is
Tehran's had that stuff, so I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
I'll give him one. I'll give us one local media guy. Yeah, I mean he's got play experience. I'm trying to go down his list here. He was with the Packers for a long time. With the Raiders. Well, the Raiders weren't good though, right? They were pretty bad when he was there, from 12 to 18, right?
Yeah, they weren't great.
Yeah.
No.
But look, if you've got to if I'm hiring somebody for this position, I'm hiring somebody that I can trust, that I can talk to, that I can argue with. At the end of the day, I know we're trying to get better. That would be fine.
That you can blame when things go wrong.
All right. I think that's fine. I mean, I think that's okay. If Chad Brinker, look, this is all Chad Brinker now. I mean, this is your football team. This is your team.
Yep.
So you're gonna make somebody who's gonna be a yes man or who's gonna challenge you. So look, they've got a connection here. I'm seeing it for many years. That's fine. I'm no problem.
And Reggie McKenzie has a connection to Callahan as well. Here's the thing, Joe, and I feel like, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but I feel like you feel the same way. I don't think we agree with how we've gotten to this point with this team. I don't trust Chad Brinker. It's going to take a while for me to trust Chad Brinker. I don't trust Amy Adams-Strunk. It's going to take a while for her to get that trust back. But the best way to do that is by winning. And if 2 years from now we're sitting here talking about the Titans getting ready for wild card weekend, or having won the number one seed, divisional weekend, whatever, and they have one of the best teams in the league and they found their quarterback, we're not really going to care about all this backstabbing and stuff, are we? I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes.
It's like a bad soap opera.
Yeah, or my favorite, it's pro wrestling. It's like one week you hate a guy, the next week you're cheering him. I mean, that's kind of how it goes sometimes. And look, I don't like it. I'm an honest person. I don't like deception and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, the fan base will be praising them if all of this stuff actually works.
And if it does, we're back.
If it doesn't,
we're right now. We're back where we are right now.
If a year from now they have the number one pick again, she's firing somebody. Like, and I want to say this too, because this, we talked about this. Everybody that was saying, oh, she's not going to fire anybody this year, I think she's learned her lesson on that. Pay attention to what has happened basically over the course of the last 3 years. I knew by October somebody was getting fired. Somebody was going to pay for this. And I thought all along it was going to be Rand Carthon, and I turned out to be right. But that's just how she operates. If things aren't going well, and there are all these expectations that I think were pumped up a little bit too much by some people. I mean, if you were paying attention, you knew that, maybe 7-8 wins was the max, but they weren't going to go win the Super Bowl, and I think everybody kind of knew that. But I knew once it got to the point where it looked like, oh, this might be, 3 to 5 wins, somebody's getting fired. So don't be surprised, even though they're kind of being a little more open to this is a rebuild and, you got to be patient. It's going to take time and hold everybody accountable. That's all great. And she's going to sign up for that right now. But if you fast forward a calendar year and they're picking in the top 5 again, don't be shocked if she's firing somebody else.
So who do we blame for Snead? I mean, that's a terrible signing.
I guess
terrible signing.
Well, it's a trade and a sign entry.
Yeah.
So you gave up your third round pick for this year, which, if you trade out of the number 1 pick, you're hoping that a part of that trade package is going to be a third round pick this year. But I guess Rand. I mean, I guess that's on Rand Carthon.
You never saw this movie growing up, but it's a movie called Used Cars with Kurt Russell. It's a hilarious, fantastic movie. And they're selling cars, and one guy comes to buy a car, and it's an awful car. And they say, how's this car going? And they're like, no, it's a great car. I mean, you'll love it. And it breaks down the second they get out of the lot. The minute they go to the Chiefs and say, how's Snead's knee? Oh, it's fine. He's good to go. No problem. And then he gets here and he's got a knee problem. And then he doesn't play and you lose all that money. Just a terrible signing. But going in, that would be bad. So who do we blame for that? I need people to blame. Enough of this and that. I need people to blame.
Sure. And I think everybody does. I mean, that's kind of how the way the world works, that when something isn't going right, sometimes, like for instance, the Dallas Cowboys, there's a report out by Tom Pelissero that Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy are open to moving forward together. His contract expires Tuesday. There could be talks today on a new contract to keep him as the head coach. There are a lot of Cowboys fans that don't like Mike McCarthy, but at the end of the day, he's been a decent coach. He gets them to the playoffs and all that. This year, they were hit with injuries. Their quarterback got hurt. Micah Parsons battled injury. Sometimes that just happens, and you want to blame somebody, and it's very easy to blame Mike McCarthy. And as a Cowboys fan, I do think there are better options than Mike McCarthy. But if a bunch of guys get hurt, you can't necessarily put that all on the coach. Now, if you sign a guy that has an injury history and supposedly your now president of football operations has a AI model that can predict injuries, and then you sign all these injured players, well, then that's a problem and you can probably blame somebody. But, sometimes there really is nobody to blame, but we're always looking for somebody to blame.
There's always somebody to blame. By the way, the Raiders fired their general manager yesterday. And I love these statements. Here's a statement from the Raiders. We appreciate Telesco's efforts in helping build a foundation for the future. We wish Tom and his family all the best. And he's out. He signed Gardner Minshew. It's always come back. That always comes back to the quarterback. He signed Gardner Minshew to a 2-year, $25 million contract, $15 million guaranteed. Minshew began the season as a starter, but was benched in favor of Aiden O'Connell after 5 games into the season. I ask you, Chase McCabe, if you're an up-and-coming person who wants to be a GM, do you go to the Raiders to work for Tom Brady and Mark Davis, who is pretty out there as a owner, or you come here where you're not getting the final say as a GM? I'm going to the Raiders all day, every day.
Well, it's a great, great question. I'm probably taking the Raiders too. If it was just Mark Davis, then I might try my luck here. But knowing that Tom Brady is involved and Tom Brady has Mark Davis's ear, and Tom's not necessarily making all the decisions, but I think he's pulling some strings. I trust that. And look, we don't know how Tom Brady is, as an owner. We just know how he is as a quarterback. But he might be good at it. He might be good at running things, and that could lead. Like, we all think Mike Vrabel is going to the Patriots. That's probably going to happen. But I would say if something goes sideways there, look to the Raiders because of the relationship that he has with Tom Brady.
What if John Robinson and Vrabel. Do you think they get reunited? What do you think their relationship is? Because I don't know.
So I don't know either. I've heard a lot of speculation that it's not as bad as people think, but it's not necessarily great. I no, I don't. The unfortunate thing is, and I really hope that I'm wrong on this. I just GMs don't get a lot of shots at it again. I mean, they get jobs. Like Reggie McKenzie is a prime example of a guy that get has gotten a job after being a GM, and he might be named GM, but it's not going to be the same as it was when he was in Oakland.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, but look, Kraft and they have a GM there in New England now, but he may go, hey, or Vrabel might be like, look, I'd really like to bring John in. I think John could help with certain personnel decisions and everything, and they might do that. Like John was a really good scout too.
He was.
Yeah. So I mean, there are things that I think he could bring to a team, even if it's not as the general manager, that could help a team. And I hope he does. But also keep this in mind. If you're John Robinson right now, you're cool. Because guess what? You go to your mailbox every month and there's a check signed by Amy Adams Strunk. So
yeah, but John Robinson does not want to sit on his ass. I mean, they don't. None of these guys.
No, and I don't think he is. But
well, let me ask you this: what about this Raiders guy? Look, he drafted Brock Bowers. He drafted Jackson Powers Johnson, who started at games at left guard and center. Third round, he took DJ Glaze, who is a right tackle. That they're all starting. This guy, I'm looking at his record for drafting. He can't help it. Antonio Pierce sucked as a head coach. Was not any good.
You're talking about Tom Telesco?
Yeah. He's evidently he's drafted well. He's with the Chargers and did well. And look, you put players on the field and they start, and that's your job. I mean, you get them on there, they start and contribute. Why not come here and say, all right, Chad, I know you're the GM. Let me scout these players. We work hand in hand. I don't need the GM title. I've had it for 2 other organizations, but I'm looking at this guy's draft record. It's not bad.
It's funny. When you look at this whole situation, we've talked ad nauseum. Is Amy Adams Strunk like Bud Adams? Is she like her dad? Mark Davis is Al Davis through and through. Is he not? Like maybe he doesn't have the same personality, but some of the decisions that he made, I mean, like you're right. Why would you look at the guy's resume? Why would you fire that guy?
Yeah, I mean, Al Davis was unique because he was just a football guy. I mean, he loved football. I'm not sure Mark Davis was handed that job because of his dad. So, yeah, they're alike a little bit like that. But I also think that Mark Davis is probably listening to Tom Brady, which he should. And I saw also here that they have Richard Seymour as a minority owner with them. So Brady and Richard Seymour, who both bought into the franchise, talked to Mark Davis quite a bit. So, look, you got to battle the Raiders and all this, but this GM has done great picking guys. And look, you said it the other day, the Titans are needing a chief scout, not a GM. You need a chief scout. That's what you're going to get out there. You're not worried about the salary cap. You got Vin Marino to deal with all that other stuff. You're not making the final decision. You got Chad Brinker doing that, allegedly. So, yeah, I'd do that. There's no pressure. I'd come here. Absolutely.
I just worry. We'll get to Chris Sanders in just a second. I just worry when you have 3 people doing the job of one, you don't have one. Like you don't have the guy. It's like the old saying with a quarterback: if you got 2, you ain't got one.
Bill Parcells.
So, yep. So that's what worries me. We'll get Chris Sanders' thought on all of this. Plus, you can continue to weigh in at 615-737-1025. Chasing Big Joe on a snowy Friday. 1025, 1063 The Game. Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this snowy Friday. Hope you're having a great start to your day. As we continue the Titans talk, now we bring in our favorite, forever Titans wide receiver, Chris Sanders, who is online with us. Chris, good morning. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. Just trying to look at all this crazy snow. And the crazy part about it is I'm from Denver, Colorado, so this ain't nothing.
Oh, yeah. I would think you're used to this.
It is, man.
Before we
Yes.
before we get to the, Rand Carthon and the GM search and
Yeah.
everything, you have you're able to say that you played football and had
Yes.
your plays called by the great Mike Keith, who
Yes.
announced
Oh,
yesterday he's
man.
going to Tennessee after being the voice of the Titans for almost 27 years. He was, and obviously you played in Houston, so there were other guys, but
Right.
he truly was that narrator of the Titans
Yeah.
story.
Yes.
Not just calling the plays. How important was that, especially in the early days, to have a guy like that to tell the story that you guys were trying to tell on the football
Man.
field?
I mean, it was awesome. I mean, the one thing I love about Mike Keith is he always brought energy. He always brought excitement. And the one that I really loved that he talks about the most is that year where Neil O'Donnell was in the game. He gets hurt, and Matt comes in, and he throws it to a guy named Chris Sanders, and they throw it to Aaron Kenny, and they win the touchdown. But the energy that he brought, the way he told the story, the way he spoke with just the enthusiasm to draw people in. So, he's going to be a guy that's really, really missed because not just he was a great storyteller, but just the energy and his love and everything that he did. And sometimes when I'm watching the Tennessee Titans games at home, I mean, just kind of listen to him. I actually had a chance to not just hear him speak, but to learn how he spoke and what he saw. So he's a great asset to me, and I'm not just saying it because he's going to the Vols.
So what were your thoughts? Rand Carthon shown the
Oh,
door as
Lord
the
have mercy.
Titans general manager. Look, I wasn't surprised, but I
Yeah.
know that you and Derek and Jared have had quite the discussions on the pregame show.
Sure.
So when the
Sure.
news came out, what were your thoughts?
I want to say this. I want to make this clear. I love my Tennessee Titans, Houston Oilers / Titans. I love them, and I played for them, I bled for them, so I love them. And I say this with the utmost respect because I respect the organization. I'm just a little disappointed on how it was done, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because on April 23rd, when no disrespect, when Mr. Brinker, had his conference, he said everything we do it all together. So now when you go into the draft picks, you draft all these guys, and you go to free agency, you get a Woozy, you get Snead, you guys done it all together. But then why is only one guy been getting blamed for everything? And I just in that aspect, I just don't think it's fair because now all of a sudden, no disrespect, but you're coming out and you're saying all these things that he didn't do. He's sleeping on the plane. He's not this and he's not that. So if you thought he was that before, then why would you hire him? So I just think that if you just want to have a clean cut from him, just say we're going a different direction. But when you start pointing out stuff like, oh, he's sleeping on the plane, let me tell you something. I've been on a plane with a whole bunch of coaches. Nobody's sitting there grading film right after the game. That's the time that a lot of the
I
coaches
wouldn't.
get their rest. I wouldn't either. Why? I mean, only person that did that who was absolutely crazy was Peyton Manning. I mean, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He loves it. But God, people don't understand the work that goes into it all during the week. You got coaches that sleep in their office. So when they're on the plane, that's a time for them to unwind for an hour and 30 minutes because after they get off the plane, they got to go back to the facilities and grade film. So I just think that do it in the right way. That's all that I'm saying.
All I will say with that, Peyton Manning went to 4 Super Bowls. So I'm just telling you that, right?
No, you're right. You're absolutely
But
right.
as I told Chase
Sure.
yesterday, Chris, I mean, when
Sure.
you watch this football team they'll play the last 2 years, the last thing I want to see on the plane is the crappy football team I just watched for 3 hours on the field. Give me a break for a little bit. I that's to me,
Right.
somebody ratted on him. That's nonsense. That's what I did in
Yeah.
9th grade to my friends. It's embarrassing. Amy Adams should be embarrassed that this is out.
But you know what hurts me the most is because every coach and every player at the beginning of the season, they say we're a family. They say we're a team. They say we're this. Are we just saying it only when things go good that we're family? So when things go wrong, if we lose as a family, then we lose as a family. But when you start pointing fingers, he did it. That's not what you're doing. And I'm gonna share this with you guys. I coach at Montgomery Bell Academy, And I have a great coach named Marty Everard. And this is what he said, and this is why I love him so much. He said, if we don't have it right in this meeting room, how do we expect to have the team to have it right? So now you don't have it right upstairs, then how you expect the team to be in unison when upstairs you don't have it in unison? So that's kind of what I'm just kind of a little disappointed. I love my organization, but we just got to do things better.
Well, that being said, I mean, are you as a former player just a little embarrassed about what this has turned into? Because right now it's the worst football team and worst franchise in the National Football League.
It is, and it's disappointing to me because I've been in that locker room, I've been in that facility, and I've been on a team where we love each other. I've been on a team where the coaches got along, and you're just looking at a situation to where the coaches, not coaches, but the organization, it seemed like they like each other, they love each other, but then when things come out, they actually didn't. So I still love my Titans, but I'm just a little disappointed of what's happening, and people blaming this and he's doing that and talking about each other's mamas. And I mean, what the heck is going on? We just gotta get better because I love my blue and white. So it's just a little disappointing.
Chris Sanders is with us talking about the Tennessee Titans. So what's next for Brian Callahan? Because I do worry with all this change with him that he's a little bit, to use the analogy, dead man walking. But I want him to be successful. I do think he needs to make some changes on his coaching staff, which is hard. So what do you want to see next from him?
First of all, winning cures everything. I mean, we talk about that all the time. I just want him to come out and give a clear vision on where we're going. And when I say have a clear vision, what's step 1, what's step 2, what's step 3, and what's step 4. And once he does that, then he gets, I know you got to make some changes in the coaching staff, and nobody likes that. Get some coaches in here that are going to be adapted to your vision on where you're going. So the one thing I want to see from Brian Callahan is just, make sure he has a clean-cut vision, make sure he knows where he's going, and build the identity of this team. Because if I ask you guys a question, what is the identity of this team? We don't know because there's so many things, there's so many pieces that are going wrong. So to answer your question is have a vision and a plan and an identity going forward from now on.
Yep, and we'll see if they can do that. It's going to be certainly interesting to watch, Chris, because it's a soap opera. Man. That's what this is right now.
I just got done watching Days of Our Lives. I mean, I'm like, dang, is this the Titans thing going on? I mean,
you ain't watched no Days of Our Lives.
What? As the world turns, are you kidding me? I grew up.
I actually believe he is. What time does Judge Judy come on? That's
No, actually, I moved from Judge Judy. I went from Family Feud, and before that, I was watching, the Golden Bachelorette. It was the best. No, yeah, I love that show too. But Golden Bachelorette is off, so now I'm now watching Family Feud. I'm a Family Feud guy.
Oh.
Let me ask you this, Chris, real quick.
Sure.
One more football question. Did you watch the game last night?
Man, that game was beautiful. Lord have mercy. Woo.
Would you take Abdul Carter first overall?
Yes. Whoa. The reason why I would take him is because he's not just a player. He impacts the whole game. He changes, every scenario of the game. Let's say it's like 3rd and 5, and you need somebody to step up and make a play. He's consistently there. So just imagine this. Him, Arden Key, Jeffrey Simmons, and Sweat, and you bring that big dog. He will make a lot of offenses scared because just his impact alone on the field could bring dangers to a quarterback.
I don't want to disagree with you. I don't think he's big enough. And NFL, this. Irv Eatman was a big man. He ain't getting around Irv Eatman. He ain't getting around Irv Eatman, right? Am I wrong about? Irv Eatman had a reach. Hell, he could reach you 20 feet away.
Yeah, but he had bad feet though. It's like he wore a size 26 and he couldn't move. He was big and strong, but he could get his paws on you. But I'm telling you, that kid, especially, I agree, he's not as big for his position, but man, the energy and the excitement and he's always around the ball. He just, man, I'm telling you something. I wouldn't be disappointed if they got that cat.
I just think if I see him in a 1-on-1 drill, I don't think he is doing what he a lot of misdirection and he goes underneath and the stunts. That's fine. But beating somebody 1-on-1 at the National Football League, I got to see it. I just don't think I'm not sold on it, man.
But the position's changed though, Joe.
But we always talk about speed kills. That kid at his position is very, very fast. He's just as fast as you, Big Joe.
Nobody's that fast.
Yeah, I just think the the game has changed, and
It's changed big time.
you know, with pass rush, you need more speed. And he's not as big, but I think he's fast.
Yeah. Ooh,
Here's what I'll
he gets to the
say:
quarterback.
whoever they take number 1 overall, or if they trade, just get
Trade
a
down.
dude. Just
A
get
dude. Yep.
just get
Dude.
somebody that can change the game. And if you think
That's
that's Travis Hunter, if you think that's Abdul Carter, if you think that's Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders,
Yep.
be 100% sure and then live with it. But
But see,
go get a game changer.
Here's the thing, Chase. If they stay at number 1 in draft, he better be a Hall of Famer. He better go to the Pro Bowl each and every year, because if you get him and stay at number 1 and he doesn't pan out, now we're back to square one again about talking about each other. So get a guy, get somebody in here that's going to change the whole culture of this Tennessee Titans organization.
All right,
That's all I'm saying.
let me ask you this: Aaron Rodgers is not going to give up football. Would you be okay with a bridge quarterback for 2 years here to let somebody?
He's shutting it down real quick.
Oh, man.
You know why? Because here's the thing. It's like, and I'm talking about the football player, not talking about the guy. But you have a situation to where when everything's good, you high-fiving people, but then all of a sudden you throw an interception or a guy runs around, and you throw him under the bus. You already got a situation to where people are being thrown on the bus right now. Why would you add another guy to that bus to throw some other people under the bus? I love his play, but I don't love what he does to his teammates. And no, I'm
okay.
good.
I mean, I'll give you that. And but if you come with the mindset, and look, he knows Chad Brinker. They know each other very, very, very well for the time with the Packers. Say, look, you're going to come in here. We're going to get a quarterback. They're going to mentor him. That's your job. Can you help me out? Give me 2 years. Look, Chris, it can't be any worse. You have the worst team in football. The worst team. If it's going to be a circus, give me another clown. Bring another clown in so I can laugh. Entertain me.
Okay. Just imagine this. I'm gonna give you this scenario.
All right.
Just imagine if Brian Callahan says, "I want you to throw the side adjust," and what's the name? And Aaron Rodgers like, "Man, I'm gonna do what I want to do." Oh, that ain't gonna work. He already did that when he was with the Jets. The Jets tell him that he needs to do such and such. He's like, "Man, I'm gonna do what I want to do." You think Brian Callahan's gonna be there long if that situation it goes in disarray? It's gonna be even worse. Even worse.
Oh, I'm here for it though, man. I'm here for it. I would love to say, but my thing has always been, what if it turns out better than you thought?
That's a great point.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know.
But we always talk about track records, right?
Yeah, we do. You're right. No, you're right.
Wherever he goes. And listen, I'm not disrespecting, man. I'm talking about the football player, so I want to be careful. But wherever he goes, it's always, he did it. He did it. I don't want to hear it. I want to say, you know what? We did it, and let's go win some ball games.
There you go.
Chris, before we let you go,
sure.
As a Titans alumni, as an Oilers alumni, as somebody that's been connected to this franchise, your whole career, how do you view this right now? Is someone that you hear the fan base that's upset and they don't trust the owner and they don't like the move she's made,
right?
Right. I know you're a passionate person. I have to imagine that kind of hurts your heart a little bit that people have this negative view of the franchise.
It does hurt my feelings, and that's a great question that you asked, because I'm a part of that legacy, and when you're a part of that legacy, and when you go into the gym and when you go to the gas station, you keep hearing all these snickering words. Oh, they suck. They're this and they're that. So it hurts me. I want to see the organization that I play for be successful. So when I hear those negative things, and when I hear stuff on the radio, and then national wise that people are talking about, it's like we're just the scum of the earth. I mean, it does break your heart, because this is a part of a team that I went to the Super Bowl. This was a team to where we had Blaine Bishop, Marcus Robinson, Eddie George, Steve McNair, Lorenzo Neal, Kevin Dyson, Derek Mason. We had all these guys that loved their franchise, but then you got people around the country that are looking at us like we're the laughing stock of the league, and it just breaks my stinking heart. So it's tough to swallow, but at the end of the day, here's what I'll do. If I'm the owner, I will gather everybody up in the room, and I will say, you know what? I want you to put all your pride on the table, and put all your pride on the table, and let's figure out this thing together as a team, as a general manager, as a owner, as a position coach. Let's work together as a family. But here's the thing, and I'm gonna leave you with this. Let's just don't talk about it. Let's be intentional about doing it. And if they can be intentional about doing this, then you can turn this ship right around and do something great.
Preach, my man. Real quick, I got Frank Wycheck's brother, Teddy, listens to us every day. We love you, Teddy. He says, hey, I heard you talk about Irv Eatman. A funny story that Frankie told me one time about Irv Eatman. They went out to eat, and Frank told Irv that a huge bowl of queso was soup, and Irv downed every bit of the
Oh, my
queso. For those that know, I'm looking at Irv Eatman, 6'7", 300.
Woo!
Big man.
Oh.
Frank tells him that queso is soup. Irv down every bit of it. I bet you Irv didn't go to the bathroom for 6 months after that.
No, I wouldn't be there when it happens, though, because I'll be scared.
No,
Oh, man.
that's fantastic.
Oh,
Chris,
my God.
great stuff. Great stuff as
Love you
always,
guys
my man.
so much.
We'll
Thank you,
we'll
fellas.
talk.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
We'll talk next week.
I won the Silly Dog Underpicker. Just wanted to announce that. Thank you. Sorry.
Sorry, you broke up there. I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that.
Love you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Peace out.
Love you
Love
too,
y'all.
Chris.
Bye-bye.
Congratulations to him for winning Silly Underdogs for sure. A lot to unpack there. We'll continue the discussion coming up next, including more facts about Irv Eatman. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game here on this snowy Friday. JoJo, during the break, I heard, was out in the parking lot making snow angels with David James. How'd that go?
Went well. David's a big guy like me, so we covered half the parking lot. So it's
That's
good to
cool.
go. It's clear. But I'm looking out on Murfreesboro Road. I mean, it's clear. I think it's like they've done a great job on the main roads are clear, by the airport from what we see on the cameras. So a shout out to Public Works for getting out there and taking care of things.
Yeah, just remember, look, I mean, some of you have to get out. If you don't have to get out, then don't. And my PSA,
Oh, Lord.
because I'm very open about this, I do not like driving in this weather, so I don't. If you are the same way, don't. You can figure it out. Call an Uber, call a friend, somebody that is better at it, because at the end of the day, if you're not good at it or you're uncomfortable or you're nervous, you're going to do more harm than good.
I wonder
Just
what
be
a
safe.
Uber surcharge is right now if you go from like downtown to
Sure,
the airport. $200?
I'm sure, probably. I mean, it's probably not great, but that's the thing. Like that, I worry about is more, affecting other people or the other people affecting me, because most of the time, a lot of the wrecks and stuff are caused because people are just, they're just not comfortable driving in this stuff. So, all you Northerners that move down here that want to make fun of all us little Southern people that don't know how to navigate, hush. That's all I'll say.
Wow. They're gonna come after you, man. They know how to drive in the snow. They can find you, buddy. They come out there and get it done. No, I mean, it's just I'm with
the
you.
Be a man guy will come get me.
Yeah, right. It'll take you down a notch or two. I don't know the back roads are always going to be bad for all those, but we laugh for the joke for years has been, there's one place that holds Nashville hostage, right? You know what that is?
What?
Jolton. It's always held Nashville hot. It's been the joke. It's like the roads can be clear every place else, but if Jolton isn't on board, well, the Davidson County shut down because of what's going on in Jolton. But no, I mean, it's sledding weather. It's fun weather. It doesn't happen all the time. So, I do know that somebody with Ace Hardware Wednesday, and they got a truckload of, I was told, of sleds that came in. They were gone within an hour. So people look forward to this. It's fun. I'll be out this afternoon with my son sledding.
Beth says on our text line, the best sledding is the hill off of Ackland Avenue near downtown. Also, Fatherland in East Nashville.
Oh, the East Nashville by Shelby. Oh, yeah. You better wear shoulder pads and a helmet if you're doing that over there. Thank you, Beth, because you'll go flying into a car or something. It's funny. Channel 5 just put up a graphic about if you go sledding, the number one thing is wear a helmet. Absolutely. Wear a helmet.
I'm going to be honest with you. I have never in my life worn a helmet while sledding. That's probably not good that I'm admitting that, but I just never have. But I also, where I would sled over here at my grandparents, and I knew the hills and it was safe, and you do have to dodge some trees. So
true. Well, I mean, growing up, when you rode your bike, did you wear a helmet? I never did. We never wore a helmet in the 70s and 80s. Never. And that's
I wore a helmet.
Most of the problem.
Yeah. I wore a helmet when I rode my bike. I definitely did that, but not sledding.
I paid the price for that once when I didn't wear my helmet riding a bike. I rode it right into a mailbox, just faced right into it.
I would have laughed.
Oh yeah,
right.
My neighbor laughed. It was hilarious.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I mean, I'll make sure you're okay, but I'm laughing. I would want you to laugh at me.
Yeah.
I ran into a guardrail one time sledding, but I had a helmet on and I missed the turn. The sled wouldn't turn. I went head first into the guard. I had a football helmet on and I laid there. I was like, I'm dead. And then all my friends laughed at me. But I had to get up and be a tough guy. And like, I'm not bothered by this. So makes you tough, man. Makes you a man.
Be a man.
Don't use the car defroster. Steer into the ice and drive blind. Be a man.
You play that one more time.
Don't use the car defroster. Steer into the ice and drive blind. Be a man.
Every time.
That is absolutely perfect. If you are not familiar with the Boston Be a Man guy, you should check it out on social media because it's pretty funny. That is good. Coming up next, we'll get back into the Titans discussion and all the complaining and therapy and everything that you all have needed to do this week. It's been a good week for Sports Talk Radio. I'll say that.
Yep.
We'll do that next. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game on this Friday. Hey, we have 75% off everything right now at thegamenashville.com/deals. All of Nashville's best deals are marked down lower than ever. So go to thegamenashville.com/deals for 75% off Bad Axe Throwing, Soar Adventure Park, Fog Street Lawn Club, and so much more. Everything's got to go, so you better act fast. Go to thegamenashville.com/deals while supplies last. Chasing Big Joe on this Friday, broadcasting from the Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning Game Nashville Studios. Home with a $99 yearly Beehive membership with a buzz is always about great service. JoJo, I got a question for you.
Sure, buddy.
With all this, change and everything with the Titans, we already know they're bad. They're the worst team in the NFL based on the metric that they have the number 1 overall pick. Could you see Chad Brinker and whoever this new GM is basically just, calling teams and saying, hey, what would you give me for Harold Landry? What would you give me for Jeffrey Simmons? What would you give me for – you're not going to get a lot for some of these guys because of their contracts and the money. But at this point, do you just completely blow it up and start over?
Simmons will be entering his 7th year. Goodbye. Landry, if you get somebody to take that ridiculous contract, goodbye. Absolutely. You're going to win a Super Bowl with Simmons? I mean, see what you can get for him. See what you can get for him. And look, I still think he's a good player. He's not elite. I think he can be disruptive. That's fine. But throw it out there what you can get for these guys. And if you're such a good talent evaluator, let's see what you can do. Now, you're on the clock, Chad Brinker. We got to hear from you. I think we need to hear. I would love to hear from, like, what's your philosophy? What are your thoughts? We will never hear from him because he hears, and they're not stupid. They hear all this stuff. They see all this stuff. There's no way there's no way he's going to come out and talk to the media.
Are you all right there, JoJo?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Something distract you there?
I'll text you what's funny here.
Oh, okay.
But I think
I love when he gets cracked up like this.
Dr. Green and I are both. All right, I'm sorry. I just got an ab workout. Brinker's not going to talk to us. I don't know what your philosophy is. You're on the clock now. What do you think going forward and what happens? So, see, just throw it out there. See what you can get for some people and then go with that. Build the capital and start. I mean, what you're going to bring back most of what we saw last year? I'll pass on that.
Look, I will say this on him talking. I expect a press conference or something, when they hire somebody. But I do hope he does. And, he did talk to, after Rand Carthon was fired, he talked to Teron, he talked to Gentry, he talked to Paul. Like, there were things like that. But, he needs to come on this radio station, whether it's this show or the morning show or Jared or the midday show, whatever.
Yeah.
Like that we will invite him on. And, I think they know well enough that, especially I'll speak for this show, if he comes on, we're not going to gotcha him, but we are going to have a frank and honest discussion and ask some questions that, quite frankly, I think the people deserve an answer to.
Yeah,
what
I'm with
happened and the philosophy of this team. And if they don't do that, if he doesn't do that, and they're, then I'm going to look at it and go, well, you either don't care or you're hiding, which is. And settle down. I do believe he will do more than Rand Carthon did.
We got some breaking traffic news. I-40 westbound closed due to multiple crashes at near mile marker 252. So that's Smith County. It's when you come down the hill from Putnam County and Cookeville. Mile marker 252 westbound. That's coming towards us from Cookeville. It is closed due to numerous crashes. So if you've got somebody heading that way to meet you, check on them, make sure they're safe. Do not get on I-40 if you're coming in from the east side of the state towards Nashville. So be careful.
All right. Yeah. Be careful out there. Take it slow. And again, if you don't have to be out, then don't. Just, work from home or whatever you need to do. And we'll obviously throughout the day keep you abreast of everything going on with the traffic and the snow.
We got 4 inches in Giles County, 2 in Lincoln, 3 in another county that is flashed up there. So I don't know. I mean, it's kind of tapered off a little bit over by the airport. It's beautiful. The road looks good. So again, get out and have some fun in the sledding there today. But I think he said 3 inches in Rutherford County that's happening. Kind of what we a little less what they expected, but it's supposed to snow all day. Hey, also real quick, did you know that, Chaser, that the NCAA 2025 convention's coming to the Gaylord next week?
I did not know that.
January 14th through 17th, the NCAA convention is now the AFC, the American Football Coaches Association, we went to last year. That's in Charlotte, which is next week. But the NCAA convention is at Gaylord. It starts on Tuesday through Friday of next week.
Huh.
So there'll be a lot of talk about the NIL and going forward and all kind of things that they've got, like all the convention, what's happening and delegates coming here and all that. So there you go.
I just saw a tweet from Jeff Calkins down in Memphis. They have 6 inches of snow in parts of Memphis, so I have a feeling when it's going to pile up, we're going to get more.
Somebody told me a story I did a long time ago. I met with this farmer who lived in Dixon County, and he was like 90 years old, and he told me, he said, the Tennessee River and the Cumberland River have a way of energizing storms or killing them. And I was like, whatever you're talking about. And then the more he talked, it was like, this is fascinating. So like when the Mississippi River could speed things up, it's a Tennessee River could send it off another trajectory. I'm not a science guy. I'm stupid, but it was.
Here you go. Here you go again. You're going to have to share with the class.
I sent you a text of what we were laughing at.
Oh, should I read it now or?
Probably not, but it's. I'll tell the people.
Oh, my bad. Anyway,
you know
what?
No,
I never thought I would say these words. Clay, please save us. What's going on, Clay?
Oh yeah, right.
Boys, how we doing?
What's up, Clay?
We're good.
Look, I just wanted to call in and say that I appreciate you boys showing up for work and being on the radio and entertaining me for 2 hours today.
Thank you.
Some channels I won't mention are not working today. And so I appreciate you guys working today, being on the air.
You are so sweet,
Chase,
Clay.
Chase, are
Yes,
you
sir.
a Cowboys fan? I think I heard you say that earlier.
I am a Cowboys fan.
Don't you think that Jerry Jones is an idiot, but a rich idiot? How do you feel about Jerry Jones?
I have thought Jerry Jones is an idiot for a long time. He is a rich idiot, but yeah, look, just be the owner, step down as the GM, but yeah.
So he blocks Mike McCarthy from interviewing for the Bears job. That tells me that Fat Boy is coming back.
Oh, he's coming back.
So 7-10, and not advancing in the playoffs and going 7-10 this year, you get to keep your job, correct?
I guess that seems to be the case with Dallas.
Big Joe,
what's up, man?
It's a good day for donuts. I might have to go use my gift card.
You go use that gift card, pal.
Would you like 10? Would you like to eat 10 again?
I would not. I would. We're busy, and Dr. Crane and I are busy in studio all day. We do glass blowing. We do architecture that way. Can't be bothered.
Well, anyway, boys. Again, I appreciate y'all working today. You guys are the best. Joe, I sent you a message on Messenger, by the way, and told you you're the best.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Clay. That's very nice. Just don't send me a virus.
Love you, brother.
All right, love you too, Clay. See you, pal.
Thanks, Clay.
See ya.
Appreciate it. Good stuff. We're going off the rails here, but that's okay. That's what we do. Coming up next, we'll tell you what day it is and celebrity birthdays. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3, the game here on this Friday as we play in the snow. That's going to be our plan after the show. Be safe out there. Keep it right here. We'll keep you up to date on road closures and things like that. Where was that closure on I-40?
Mile marker 252 coming down from Cookville down the interstate, which you come down that real long big hill at the bottom there. So 252 Smith County is closed. That's westbound coming from Cookville to Nashville. I-40 is closed.
And I think I've seen some reports too that there's parts of 24 that are having some issues. So just be careful out there. I mean, the roads are going to get worse as the day goes on. TDOT's doing a fantastic job. NDOT's doing a fantastic job getting them clear. But as the snow continues to fall, they're going to have to retreat some certain areas. So just be safe out there. A couple of football notes real quick. Ian Rappaport is reporting that quarterback Deshaun Watson ruptured his Achilles again. Further testing showed, and he had another surgery on Thursday to repair it. That was after 3 months after the original tear. It happened again, so he could miss all of 2025
for
the Browns. So
sure he did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, Achilles. Huh? Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. By the way, I thoroughly enjoyed your Indeed post for the Titans play-by-play position on BigJoeOnTheGo.com.
Well, thank you. A few thought that was actually a real post, but they dropped to the general manager and now the play-by-play voice in my lap. So yeah, thank you.
I'm just going to read a piece of it real quick.
Sure.
It says, quote, because we are paying 22 people not to be with the team anymore, the salary is $250 per game with $10 per diem. You'll also have to book your own flights using Spirit Airlines. We have a discount with them that we have gotten since no one is buying tickets anymore. We've switched our ticket team to finding bartering deals with companies.
That's if you get the play-by-play job. That's what you get, $250 a game. But then you gotta work the pro shop during the week. We're not letting you just sit around.
No,
Amy's going to put you to work.
At least 5 years of being told what to do in a corporate setting, 7 references the must-be-season ticket holders of the Titans and have already sent their money for that in PSLs.
Gotta get that money, man.
Oh, that's good. With that, let's get to what day is it and celebrity birthdays.
All right, gentlemen. First on the list we have is Houseplant Appreciation Day. So your little window sitters, you can put them out and maybe get some sun or whatever today. Probably just more of the overcast stuff. National Cut Your Energy Cost Day. You could do that. National Oyster Rockefeller Day is today.
Shout out to my buddy Phil. He loves those.
Oh, what is that?
Oysters.
I think it's how the oyster's prepared. It's basically broiled, but there's Rockefeller style is what it's called.
Okay, I'll have to look that up.
I'll pass.
Yeah.
We also have Peculiar People Day. So
that is you.
Hey.
We know a few.
Got it. Save the Eagles Day. Save the Eagles Day is next. And
I think they're fine. They're in the playoffs.
They are.
Yeah. Or they're selling out Vegas at the Sphere.
That's right. They had their little house residency. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And to wrap it all up, we have National Bittersweet Chocolate Day. You guys know how much I love my chocolate.
Yeah, it's bittersweet chocolate.
Bittersweet chocolate.
Okay.
They're probably like your dark chocolates and stuff like that.
All right, buddy. All right, time for celebrity birthdays. You have to get these within 2. Here we go. First birthday today is Do You Think I'm Sexy? Rod Stewart. How old is Rod Stewart?
I'm going to say Rod is 80.
83.
80 exactly. God, that's crazy. 80 years old. All right, next up is from Steely Dan, musician Donald Fagen. Wonderful, wonderful musician. Donald Fagen.
76.
77.
77. We're tied at 2. Nice. If you've seen the Yacht Rock documentary, Donald Fagen is pretty funny in that for one statement. George Foreman.
George Foreman, I'm going to say 76.
70.
75 today. So Chaser's up 3-2. Good job, Chaser. Let's go down here some more. Who else we got? Let's see here. Who is this? Oh, Sean Colvin, the singer. I forget what she sings, but she sings.
42.
46.
69. Really close on
Nice.
that. Okay, don't figure. Oh, Pat Benatar. Today's Pat Benatar's birthday.
Ooh. 74.
72.
72 exactly. Dr. Crane's up 4-3. The lead singer of the Crash Test Dummies, Brad Roberts.
55.
65.
61. You guys right in the middle of all that. All right, let's go a few more here. Harry Gant. NASCAR driver Harry Gant.
Oh, handsome Harry. He's probably pushing 80. I'm going to say 77.
82.
84. Dr. Crane's up
Oh, wow.
5-3. One of the great TSU Tiger Bills, Chandra Cheeseborough. Amazing, amazing woman. Chandra Cheeseborough.
74.
79.
65. The big dog, Glenn Robinson, played at Purdue in the NBA for a while. If you played fantasy basketball back in the 90s, you knew how good he'd be for your team. Glenn Robinson.
62.
67.
53. Former New
Joe,
Orleans.
I hang on. I have a protest.
Yeah.
You said George Foreman was how old?
He was born in hold on. Don't hate me. 1949.
He's 76. He's not
He's
75.
76. My God.
I get 2 points.
Joe. My God. You're right. I'm still stuck in 24.
So I'm up 1.
Yeah. It's 5-4. Thank you, Chaser.
Hey, it's okay. We're
You're
here to help
right.
each other.
I went to McGavick. Forgive me for my math. Jake Delhomme.
Jake Delhomme. 48.
42.
He is 50. We're tied at 5.
Okay.
We have one left. Tied at 5. I like this going to the weekend. Former Dallas Cowboys safety, 2-time Super Bowl champion, James Washington. How old is James Washington?
58.
56.
And the winner is Chase McCabe. He's 60 years old. Chase, well done, buddy.
Oh, thank you.
Well done.
We have to go back and get instant replay and watch if I messed anything else up, which I'm sure I did. So,
Hey, it's okay. We
So-
all make
Celebrate with
mistakes.
some snow cream, Joe.
damn New Year. I'm sorry. Okay. All right. There you go.
It's okay. Hey, thanks for all the fun and the participation this week. Obviously, a lot has happened with the Titans, and you've made it very clear you enjoy interacting with us, so we really appreciate it.
Chase, before we send it out, we have this little thing for you.
Don't take medicine when you're sick. Just keep on coughing and complaining about it. Be a man.
I will. Don't worry.
All right. Hey, listen, as we head to the weekend, I said today, look, snow is outside. It's a beautiful day. It might look just gloomy and dreary, but know that you are wonderful. And if you're struggling to talk to somebody on your cell phone, please dial 988. You can text 988. You can reach out to us. You guys were great in 24 reaching out to us. We love talking to you. We love telling you that we love you and that God loves you and that you are awesome. Know that we need you here in 2025. We need you to make this world a better place because you are tremendously loved. Have a great weekend.
Amen to that. By the way, Joe, my dog is asleep next to me, and he's clearly having a dream because his paws are moving. It's kind of cute, So he's dreaming about something. Peace, love, rock and roll DVD coming up next. Stay safe out there. Keep it right here on 102.5.